This meeting is being recorded.
You're all set, Chairperson.
Thank you, Recording Secretary. This meeting is taking place entirely by teleconference via Zoom. The public is accessing the meeting via the Santa Ana YouTube channel or the city's website. And the subcommittee members and I, along with city staff and the recording secretary, are in different locations. So please bear with us as the technology may disrupt the flow of the meeting. For members of the public, please mute yourselves until until public comment section is open. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call the February 8th, 2022 School Collaboration City Council Subcommittee regular meeting to order at 12:04 p.m. Will the recording secretary please call roll?
Thank you, Chairperson. Subcommittee Member Mendoza. Subcommittee Member Hernandez.
Present.
Subcommittee Member Lopez.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chairperson.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Next on the agenda is a time for public comments. Recording secretary, let us know if anyone wishes to speak.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, we do. I see that we do have one public comment. Mr. Carl Benninger. Mr. Benninger, you are now free to provide your comments. Remember, sir, you do have 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's time. I really want to talk in favor of the Aquatic Center, whatever we can do to get that going with the school board. I think that's a real advantage for every citizen of Santa Ana to have a very nice facility in which we could develop aqua swimming. So I would support that. Number two, I would like to bring this panel up to date, what I've been able to achieve with trying to get neighborhood associations meeting again. We met with the school board last week, very generous that we get their time, and we have facility managers as well as superintendents, as well as the lady in charge of scheduling, as well as Margarita from the city. And what we ended up doing was Margarita's putting together a usage that she would see for neighborhood associations. School board is going to accept that. In fact, it should be in their hands later today, as well as in the city manager's hands. And then we can talk about what can we work together, what they would want from us or from the city. And we're going to meet again on February 23rd. Also Jerry and city manager will be, the superintendent and our city manager will be meeting this week. And with that sheet of what needs we see we need, hopefully this will get moved on. So I'm really hopeful by the 23rd of February, we'll be able to get this resolved. And so neighborhood associations, which there are 30 of us that use the school system, will be able to meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for your public comment today and for meeting with the school board staff. I appreciate that. Recording secretary, I'm assuming there are no other public speakers?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the consent calendar. Item 1 are the minutes of the regular meeting of January 11th, 2022. And item 2 are the excused absences. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 11th, 2022 meeting and the excused absences?
I'll make a motion to pass.
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. I'll second. Recording secretary, did you want to take roll?
Chairperson Hernandez. Sorry, my Vice Chairperson Hernandez.
Yes.
Chairperson Lopez.
Yes, thank
So
you.
noted.
So that is the end of the consent calendar. Today we have 2 items under new business, and I will turn this over to the Executive Director Rudloff for item 3, which is the proposed partnership for the aquatic complex at Centennial Park.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to apologize for being delayed. I'm on and ready for action. So I'm driving, so I will be on my headset, okay?
Director Rudloff, you're on mute, I believe.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All righty. Thank you so much, Chairperson Lopez and subcommittee members. I wanted to bring an item before you regarding a proposed aquatic complex and partnership with the Santa Ana Unified School District at Godina's High School and Centennial Park. And so at the staff level, I met with folks from the school district, and we talked about their desire to have an aquatic facility for their needs at the school. And they're deciding on whether to have that on their land or if we wanted to partner and have it on our land, which is at Centennial Park. I'm going to just share my screen real quick. Second here. So this is our, shrink this down. This is Centennial Park, and this is the school property here. They're looking into having their aquatic facility here at the Heritage Museum area or at Centennial Park in this general area. It is not this specific shape, but it's somewhere over here. They're interested in having a 50-meter pool so they can have their swim team and water polo and such. Where I became very interested, and I think this would be a wonderful opportunity for the community because all of our aquatic facilities are not in really good shape. And quite frankly, they all need to be replaced. This might be an opportunity to have some type of joint pool facility where the city would pay for our share, the school district would pay for their share, and then we would have some type of joint use for the community. And my thoughts are, as a park and rec professional and doing this in other communities with joint use, I have experience with building 3 pools. For example, at one site, it was adjacent to a high school. One pool was for the school district to use for their competitions. And then the other 2 pools, one was a tube slide and one was a 0 depth entry and lanes for swim lessons. It doesn't have to be that elaborate, but it could be something where the community can come to Centennial Park. They can engage in swim team in the 50-meter pool, which is an interest of the school district. If we have some type of 0 depth entry pool with play features for children, and then maybe a couple lanes for swim lessons where kids can learn to swim, that might be something that the city could consider. So we've only had this discussion at the staff level. Again, I'm bringing this to the subcommittee. There would have to be a lot of conversations as to interest on both for both parties. I'm going to stop sharing here. We would have to identify funding for this project. The school district has their funding from their school improvement bond measure. And so we do have joint use with the Godina's High School for the sports fields and things of that nature. So this would be something else that the city or subcommittee may be interested in. And if so, or if not, you may want to reach out to the school district when it's appropriate and or the council members to come up with the discussion. So that's my presentation. I just wanted to provide that information to you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Director Rudloff. Subcommittee members, any thoughts? Okay, well, I do have some, Lisa. Let me get back to the screen. So you mentioned that they could do it on their property or our property. what have they given you any feedback as to why they wouldn't want to or can't do it on their property?
No, they first reached out to see if we had an interest in having some type of partnership. They have a lease agreement with the Heritage Museum, which is school property. So they're just trying to decide which property they're going to build the pool or aquatic facility on. And so I think they're just in discussion right now. Again, they have all the money they need for their aquatic facility, but we're just reaching out to the city to find out if there was an interest. And I think that they want to know if there's an interest or not, so they can move on or wait for us, kind of a thing.
Got it. So they have the money and they could do it on their land.
Yes, they could.
My understanding. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I as a joint use, yes, there's interest on my end. But I would like to see what the concrete community benefits for non-SAUC folks would be. I don't necessarily, and I know you just mentioned these are very early talks. So if something does come back to us, something detailed, I think would be beneficial for not just the this subcommittee, but for the entire council to take this into consideration. But I think as a whole, on my end, there's interest, and I think some of the programming you mentioned would be beneficial.
Okay, great.
Well, if there's no other comments, we can move on to.
May I ask if the other subcommittee members are in support of this, or you like the idea or would like to explore the idea?
Hi, Lisa. This is Councilmember Mendoza. I do like the idea of having a shared aquatic center, and perhaps we can explore it and see how much it would cost to build and where. I think I may have missed the location. And is there enough room for a big Olympic-sized pool, or what size do they propose? Parking? Are we going to charge the public? Do we need to hire more staff? So maybe when you come back with the report, you can summarize some of those questions as your experience in building pools. What kind of expenses are we looking at? And
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm in favor, definitely. And in that same subject, we don't currently have something that is shared, right?
Correct. We have pools throughout the community. They're in poor shape, and they're in need of serious renovation. And so, at some point, I think if it's the council's desire, we need to renovate our pools, and or just demolish and start over. They're many years old, and this might be an opportunity for consideration if the council is so inclined. So I can certainly bring back more information as we keep moving along, and bring it to this body.
Yes, that'll be good. Thank you, Lisa.
Hi, Director Rudloff. This is Councilmember Hernandez. I'm supportive of this. I think this is a great addition to Centennial. And yeah, I would certainly like to see this explored, and just want to, again, echo my support here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful. So next on the agenda is item 4, which is the School Collaboration City Council Subcommittee discussion. And I will turn this over to Executive Director Rudloff.
Okay, thank you so much. So this item is brought before you at our January 18th, 2022 council meeting. The mayor wanted staff to bring this to the city council for consideration regarding revisiting the subcommittee structure and adding an element for joint meetings with specifically Santa Ana Unified School District. And I believe at the very beginning meetings of your subcommittee, it was a desire also. So what I am asking for of the subcommittee is to provide some information on how do you envision this collaboration or meetings with the school district happening, and suggestions. And then what I will do is turn it around and bring it to a council meeting for the entire council to discuss. Are you thinking of amending this subcommittee? Or are you thinking of having another subcommittee just specifically with Santa Ana Unified? Or is it a hybrid? So that's really kind of what I'm looking for is your feedback so I can bring this to the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Director. Subcommittee members, any thoughts?
I believe that we can handle the issues and make the recommendations and then take it to the council. So we don't need to create an additional subcommittee. So just so we keep it slim and not expand into other areas. So I think our committee is adequate, and then we could bring in the appropriate districts committee members.
Okay, thank you.
Director Rudloff, this is Councilmember Hernandez. I am in favor of seeing a fully inclusive school subcommittee that is as inclusive with as many educational institutions that are willing to participate, whether it be Santa Ana Unified, Orange, Garden Grove, Tustin, any district where there are residents within our city that are attending these local school districts. I would optimally like to see them involved. So I, at the very least, I think it would suffice for us to reach out and see if there is interest. And I think whatever school districts are willing to participate, then we move forward with that. And if there is no interest, then we continue to meet and work efficiently through this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm happy to see the sign and come back. I know it was something that the entire subcommittee discussed with the school board trustees, and there was, agreement with everyone involved during that conversation that we wanted to see a joint use meeting be established that the public would have full access to, that it would be fully staffed on both ends, because there were things that, the school district had interest in pursuing, and that the council could support. And we thought that that would be the best idea for the two biggest institutions in the city to come together, to unify, to put their resources together, and to address the issues that impact all of our families here. So I am supportive of, reestablishing the former version that the city had in place. I think you already know, staff already knows that there is interest on the school board's end. We already had that public discussion. There's interest on the council's end. And I think in terms of the format, I think it would have to be a separate meeting, because the subcommittee that we are in now, that was approved by the council, and it allowed us to have flexibility to work with different institutions, which are in our bylaws. And unfortunately, we know, and your staff knows, that Garden Grove has not wanted essentially to work with us with joint use. And so that really limits us to only working with Santa Ana, Orange, and or Tustin. And we have an entity in the city that wants to work with us. So why not try and do that as best we can? And so I think it would have to be different. But I would like for that joint version to also have the same flexibility that this subcommittee has. If at any point in time the city of Garden Grove or Tustin or Orange wants to have an open and a transparent discussion, they're more than welcome to join us. But I do think that there needs to be clarity that the joint meetings moving forward are going to be with SAUSD, but we're open to joint meetings with other school districts that are willing to staff the meetings as well.
Okay, thank you. So are you saying, I just need some clarity, to keep this structure, but only with Santa Ana Unified School District. So every meeting, it would be SAUSD coming to the table. However, if other educational institutions would like to be a part of the meeting, then they can do so. Or are you saying to eliminate what we have this committee and only have the SAUSD meeting together, or reestablish the old way, I guess, the previous?
Definitely reestablish what was already in place before this new council was, came in. But I think the subcommittee that we are in now should not be disbanded, because our bylaws allow us to work with different institutions in Santa Ana that are not part of the public unified school district. And that is the flexibility that we all want here. We want to make sure that we have that open line of communication with them. But the joint is explicitly with Santa Ana Unified School District. But we are open to, working with Garden Grove, Tustin, Orange, if they wish to partner with the city.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think. I think, so I think I understand. So we're going to keep what the city council has established for this subcommittee, and Santa Ana Unified will be at the table at every meeting, correct?
No, that's going to be the joint is a completely different meeting. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, now I understand. Got it.
Right. And with the joint, Lisa, one of the things that we talked about previously is making sure that we do outreach with them and we ask them what their availability is like.
Right.
With like any other. Thank you.
Okay. So I will, thank you very much for your comments. I will put something together and we'll get this to the city council. So there can be a discussion between this subcommittee and the council to move forward.
Okay, got it.
Awesome.
And then Lisa, can I also ask, during that conversation, in your staff report or while you're going to give a presentation, can you update the entire council of the outreach efforts with Garden Grove? I think it's important for them to know that it's not that we're not trying or we're not interested. We have done that. We have directed staff to do that. And unfortunately, they have just not wanted to work with us.
Got it. Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for your efforts. I appreciate that.
You bet. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me get back to the agenda here. So are there any closing thoughts on that, Councilmember Mendoza or Hernandez?
No, great summary on your part, Councilmember Lopez. Nothing on my part.
Well, I'm okay also on that. It's a good feedback, and we definitely want to have a collaboration with all the districts, and it's a good idea that you mentioned that we reach out to Garden Grove and let them know that we're still would like for them to join us. So totally agree with that.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are the subcommittee member comments. We will start with subcommittee member Mendoza.
Thank you, Councilmember Lopez. Just as maybe for future agenda items, how are we doing in putting the collaboration for upgrading the surrounding fences and wind protection screens at the Machander tennis courts?
I can ask Nabil Saba to attend our next meeting and provide us an update.
Okay.
If you would like.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And also over the weekend, I attended at Santa Ana High School, a huge, actually, I think it was probably even nationwide. I'll have to verify with Dr. Alvarez, a junior ROTC event, which was a competition of junior ROTC entities from as far away as Ohio and Arizona. and the school facilities were being used for this great event. And also the second event that was there was the speech and debate that is headed by former council member Sal Tirajero, and over 1,000 students from different schools were there as well, using the facilities. So I wanted to see if we could partner with the city of Santa Ana and the district in bringing some kind of like marketable materials, so that they could, that the people who are coming here can utilize our businesses, hotels, restaurants, and also bring in the Chamber of Commerce so that they know that this event is taking place, and offer maybe a coupon book or discounts for the businesses that are here locally, so that the these groups that are coming from out of state are right here in Santa Ana, and we keep them here in Santa Ana. So maybe we could bring in Superintendent Almendares and some of the people that head the or other events, not just those two. So we can also offer city services in one way or another. We could collaborate to ensure that we take advantage of all the people that are here in ensuring that they spend their time and money in Santa Ana. What do you think?
Absolutely. I can reach out to superintendent and ask if they're open to, and this would be something you could speak to Santa Ana Unified board members about once you guys are organized and have your meetings. But I can reach out to him and bring him to the next meeting if possible, and have a discussion with him. Would that work?
Fantastic. Yes.
You're breaking up. I think you said fantastic or something along those lines.
That would be greatly appreciated. Yes, because we have a missed opportunity here.
You got
Yes.
it. Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilmember Mendoza. Drive safe now. Subcommittee Member Hernandez.
Thank you, Chair, Councilmember Lopez. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues that took time out of their day to join our meeting. Thank you to staff and Director Rudloff for your time and your dedication to making sure the meeting was a success. I just for my closing comments, I just want to focus on the school districts that may or may not participate. I encourage you to find the time and the resources to join us in forming this subcommittee. I think it's important for government moving forward, for cities and school districts to work closer, especially as we navigate the challenges of a pandemic. There is a lot of good work that we can do together. I hope that you consider our proposal to join us, and I hope to see you at our upcoming meetings. Thank you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. I couldn't agree more. And, you know, one of the reports that I was receiving, or the many reports that I was receiving from Ward 3 residents, was that there was some sort of door knocking for fundraising efforts by SAUSC students. And I was able to confirm with SAUSC staff that is in fact not happening, or at least that is not an initiative that is coming from SAUSC. So please be very careful, be aware of who is coming to your door and what is it that they are asking for. But it is not SAUSC. And if you have any other questions or concerns around that, feel free to email the district staff. They can provide more resources. You can always contact me as well. Thank you. So this is the conclusion of the meeting. Next regular meeting will take place on Tuesday, March 8th, 2022 at 12 p.m. Meeting is going to be adjourned at 12:33 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.